All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning into this video. This is a very important video because we've recently had Joe Biden talk about the State of the Union and the problem with the State of the Union address that he gave, and a big problem with Joe Biden, the Democrats, I call them the Democrats, is the fact that it's one lie after another lie after another lie. And this video is going to expose, they say everything is, they say either a complete lie or a half truth, or, they talk about misinformation all of the time. So this video is going to expose what I feel is mistruths and lies that Joe Biden said in the State of the Union. And I'm also going to address right now, I'm going to show you what was brought up, what he's said over the years, all of the lies he said. So, what I'm going to do is do that. So, before I get started, I want you to do me a favor and go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and support. Look in the description to support me. That would be fantastic. Because the reason I'm doing this is because we need to get the information out there. Um, Look, all speech is allowed. Free speech it's part of our Constitution. So it's really important that we understand that everyone needs to get a voice out there, and then people can make their decision. The problem is that right now what's happening is on the mainstream news media. And so I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. Let me just share my screen real quick. This is just the writing of the speech that I've got here. Okay. I just put it in a Word document, and I'm going to have this available. Hopefully, I'll have a link in the description. All right. So these are my notes. These are what I'm going to talk about right now. And like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. And before we get into why I'm doing this video, I was going to mention some things. Before I get into that, you just need to know that this video is probably going to be a little bit long because the speech was long, and I'm not going to read the whole speech. I'm only going to go to specific parts in the speech and then give my opinion on it or the truth about it. And that's what I intend to do. So the first thing is you look in the description here before we get started is I want you to visit our sponsor. It's buygodsmoney.com, as you can see right here. A lot of times what happens is you with the economy right now, with the way the system is right now, we are deeply concerned about the value of the dollar. It's going down. And what we want to do is be able to take care of ourselves financially. And one of the best ways to do it is to buy silver. And if you go to Buy God's Money, not only can you get silver delivered to your home physically, but you can also share it with others and be able to multiply your silver that way as well. Other people want to buy silver, have it physically in their possession, not somewhere in a vault. You just want to have it, and you're going to be able to use that in a time of need. So please look at it. It solves two problems. One is getting silver into your hands, and the other one is you can help other people get silver into their hands and be able to make some extra money, because a lot of people right now, they could use more money with the inflation, right? So you could do that as well. So remember, buy, B-U-Y, godsmoney.com. So what I'd like to talk about first is, why am I doing this video? Because of the censorship, because of the, first of all, the censor. Boy, I tell you, I just get so excited, tied up here and excited about what's going on with our country. So the first thing is the censorship. The average person does not know or take the time or even have the desire to go out and do research on what is going on in our economy, in America, in our communities, and around the world. And unfortunately, most people, they probably get their news on the radio, in the mainstream news media, and maybe on some of the big tech media sites like Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff, but they do not allow other opinions. You talk about misinformation. Every opinion matters. And it's not the government, it's not big tech, it's not the news media it's not their job to censor speech. And the whole point here is the reason I'm doing this video, and I'm going to do a lot more videos about specific topics, is the fact that our speech is being suppressed. That is part of our constitutional First Amendment right. And then you got in this speech, you're going to see about guns and gun control, supposedly gun safety and all this other stuff. We're going to get into that in this speech. The whole point about all of this is the fact that our country is heading toward communism, and that's my opinion, and I have the right to do that. And if you don't believe me, you're going to see some of the things in this speech, and I'm going to point it out. But the most important thing about all of this is the fact lie after lie after lie. That's the biggest thing. And I'm sick and tired of only half-truths coming out, all the lies coming out, and the other opinions and thoughts, they're censored. You don't even get to have that. I mean, if you really think about it, the big tech companies, originally Twitter and Facebooks and YouTubes and all, they silenced the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Come on. What are you doing silencing the president of the United States? That's a big problem. Just think about that for a minute. They're silencing everybody with a different thought, and that thought doesn't get out there to give people an opportunity to make a decision for themselves. It's not, again, it's not the government's job to make a decision on what's truth or not. Okay? Misinformation is free speech information. Okay? That is still free speech, even if it's misinformation, what they want to call misinformation. Just like all the lies they're saying it. Okay? That is free speech. That's not being censored, right? So that's a big problem. The lies. So I'm going to get right into it right now. What I'm going to talk about right now and share with you is the fact. Let me stop my share for a moment because I want to make sure I'm able to share audio. Let me see here. So we're going to share the screen and we're going to share sound. All right. So this is important to understand. The reason this is important is because we need to hear everything, all sides of everything, so we can make our own stinking decisions. Okay? I'm sick and tired. I'm done with all the lies, and I know they're lies because I do my research. Most people don't have time to do the research. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Now, this video is from Mark Levin. I was watching his information about everything that's going on as well. Mark Levin had a little snippet about what Joe Biden has said throughout the years, and everything you're going to hear right now. Everything that he said is an absolute bold-faced lie. And he lies. I mean, literally, ladies and gentlemen, if you really, really, really want to know everything he does, everything he says, most of it is, there's so many lies, okay? But let's go ahead and listen to this. Let me bring this up real quick, and we'll let you listen to it. Here we go. Here we are.
Go.
I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I've written extensively when I was a law professor.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship.
I was appointed to the Academy in 1965. I didn't come to the Academy because I wanted to be a football star, and you had a guy named Staubach and Bellino here. So I went to Delaware. I got started out of an HBCU, Delaware State. Now, I don't want to hear anything negative about Delaware State here, okay?
They're my folks.
Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I won the International Moot Court competition. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only need 123 credits, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like.
I am a hard coal miner. Anthracite coal, Scranton, Pennsylvania. My dad was not a, he was a salesperson. He wasn't a coal miner. My great-grandpa was.
So I have to stop that just for a minute. You see, we're not even done yet. This is just some of them. I mean, literally, if you take a look at the history and everything else, it is just ridiculous. Coming out all the time, everything he says, it's only half truths and lies. It's just ridiculous. And the American people don't deserve that. They need the truth, and that is it. So that's what I'm here for. Let's continue.
First job offer where I wanted, my wife, deceased wife, and I wanted to move to Idaho because we think, not a joke, it's such a beautiful, beautiful state. And I interviewed for a job with Boise Cascade. I got a commercial license because my dad used to run an automobile agency.
I used to drive a tractor trailer.
Oh, awesome.
And so I know a little bit about driving big trucks.
It means that I've worked in the East Side. I deliberately went and worked for 3 years to make sure I was the only white guy that worked in the East Side because, you know, I wanted to understand. I was involved in the civil rights movement, but
what did you want to understand?
What I want to understand, I didn't realize, for example, as the only lifeguard in the project. Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
So here's another thing. Not only does he lie, he lies in order to try to appease to whatever group, wherever he's speaking, whoever he's trying to speak about. He tries to act like he's black. He tries to act like he's from a neighborhood or from a state, and all of this stuff just to try to appease to people. I mean, that's a real politician, you know what I mean? So, but we're sick of politicians. We're sick of the lies. I mean, you should be, as an American citizen, you should be sick of all this crap. Almost done.
And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you. Off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. He said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. I used to be a lifeguard for years, and when I ran for the United States Senate, they said, well, why do you want a 29-year-old guy who's only been a lifeguard? Well, the truth was, I was a practicing lawyer, I've been a public defender, and I had my own small law firm. The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. You know how much it costs to make that insulin drug for diabetes? Cost. It was invented by a man who did not patent it because he wanted it available for everyone. I spoke to him. Okay?
You better have helicopters ready to take those 3,000 civilians inside the green zone where I've been 7 times and shot at.
Think of Iraq because that's where my son died. Uncle Frank fought in the Battle of the Bulge and he won the Purple Heart. And he never received it. So he got him the Purple Heart. He had won it in the Battle of the Bulge. And I remember he came over to the house, and I came out, and he said, present it to him, okay? We had the family there. I watched what happened when the kids from Parkland marched up to, and I met with them, and then they went off to up on the hill when I was vice president. They went off the hill to go into those neighborhoods. All those congressmen were like, no, I'm not here. I'm not here. Don't tell them I'm around. God's truth, I've traveled over 1,250,000 miles on that track. And one of the conductors I know for years walked up and grabbed, said, Joey, baby, grabbed my cheek. Not a joke. This day.
Anytime he says, oh, I'm serious, or it's not a joke, that is a hint for you. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, pay close attention to what he says. Try to do some research for yourself to see if it's true or not. You know, I mean, what really matters is the integrity of the person in the Oval Office and his integrity and the integrity of the Democrats. I'm sorry, I call you guys Democrats, because it's everything that is going on that the Democrats believe in and are acting on is not it. The ignorance is no longer an issue. It's called evil. I mean, if you're trying to go against, if you're against America, the American people, American economy, American jobs, American power, that is the problem. So almost done, like I said, and we'll get into the State of the
30
Union
years
speech.
ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
I swear to God, true story.
Swear to God, true story.
True story.
They think I'm kidding, man.
All lies.
All right, so there you go. All lies. All right. So I think Mark Levin show, awesome guy. He knows what the heck he's talking about. I've read his books and everything. So you know, that it's important. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we need to know what the heck the truth is. We can't be dealing with all these lies and mistruths, okay, and half truths. It's important. So let's get over here back to this and let's start looking at this speech. So right here, I'm underlying what I'm going to be referring to. 2 years ago, the economy was reeling, right? So here's the problem with that. Let me go ahead and try to bring this up a little bit if I can. Well, anyway, I'll have to bring it up bigger if I can here. But the bottom line is, as you can see here, it was reeling because of the Democrat policies that were forced upon the American people and businesses, forcing people to stay in their homes, business closures. Then when people could go out, they were forced to wear masks. Then when the vaccine, not really a vaccine in my opinion, okay, that harms people, okay, vaccines shouldn't be harming people. But anyway, when the vaccine came out, Biden administration ultimately forced people to get the vaccine or else. The Biden administration is against our rights and our Constitution. They're against free speech, like I already mentioned earlier about censorship and not letting the other side be heard. They're against free choice, okay? In regard to, see, they want to kill babies, and that's your choice they want you to have. But what about the choice before you decide to have sex? What about that choice? That should be the choice that you make. Having sex before you're married, okay, and things like that. That should be the choice that you make, and then you have to suffer the consequences once you make that decision. And we're not talking about rape and incest and things like that. That's a very, very small amount, a small minority of pregnancies, if you look at the statistics. And they're against religion. They had bars open, liquor stores open during the pandemic, but guess what? Churches were closed, couldn't even meet in the parking lots. Are you kidding? They're anti-American and anti-everything else. So over here, 12 million new jobs, okay? The jobs, these jobs are ones that came back because the pandemic was ending. It wasn't new jobs. These are people that were coming back, businesses opening up and being able to get the people back again. These aren't new. These are what replacing what was already there prior to the pandemic. So that is a lie, okay? Now, COVID had shut down our businesses. And then my note on this is that we can never allow this to happen again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have rights. Okay, we can't be forced to close. We can't be forced to mask. We can't be forced to get a vaccine. Okay, really, really bad. I mean, the big one, really, they said 2 weeks to slow the spread, and here we are years later, still trying to get everything going. Okay, and they're still trying to keep the emergency use authorization in effect. It's ridiculous. Okay, we can't allow that ever again to occur. Okay. And then he talks about the greatest threat since the Civil War. Now, he's referring to the January 6th, what happened in January 6th. It was definitely not the worst thing since the Civil War, okay? There was a lot of worse things, including the Civil War, okay? So what about the Puerto Rican independent movement that shot 4 or 5 members in the House of Representatives in the gallery? What about that? That wasn't bad, okay? Worse than when the weather underground, blew a bomb up in the Senate and at the Pentagon. Worse than that? What about worse than the Imperial of Japan attacking Pearl Harbor? You're kidding, right? There was 1,800 lives right there lost. Okay, they're trying to appeal to the emotions. And the biggest point, there's these other ones here. I'm not going to go into all of them. Assassination of John F. Kennedy, assassination of Martin Luther King. The bottom line is they're appealing to the people that don't do the research. They just go by what the government says to get a vote. That's really all it's about. January 6th is really about keeping President Trump from getting back into office, making him look bad. Okay. I am total Trump supporter. I love Ron DeSantis, but the bottom line is this. January 6th, the committee, they wouldn't allow Republicans on the committee to get the real truth because they don't want the truth. They just want to keep this going in order to, that's all. They're still, President Trump's been out of office 2 years and they're still on him, on him, on him. They raid him. They're talking about documents and they just keep on him and on him. Got to hand it to them. They're very relentless, but it's all lies. It's all not true. Everything from the Russia gate, when they were talking about Russia, all of that was proven now false. And then they say that, they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop and come to find out, it's there. They had it. They got the information. It's true, but they suppressed it during the election. So that way, after the election now, years later, they go ahead and let it come out. Now, let's continue. There were times when, there were times when Democrats went it alone. Okay. And I say alone, going against our Constitution and human rights. Of course, anytime that you're going to go against the American people, you're anti-American, you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-religion, you're anti-job, the economy, you're going to go it alone because the Republicans are not going to go along with you with this socialist communist republic that you're trying to build, global world order. Okay, that is why you go it alone. Okay. The Democrats and the Republicans years ago used to not be too, they used to be, kind of had some common ground. Not anymore. They have completely lost their mind. The Democrats have. Okay. It's really bad. It's destroying America from the inside out, and we cannot allow this, okay, any longer. The truth must come out, and it is now that the GOP is in the House of Representatives and they're doing a lot of these committees investigations. At least the truth is going to come out, and it's live. A lot of it's recorded, and you can see the exchanges, which is fantastic. So, once in a generation infrastructure law. Only about 40% of that entire mega bill, that they passed had anything to do with infrastructure. Everything else was fluff and a waste of money. And that is why the Republicans didn't want to vote for it, because it was just, there was throwing money away. What you will realize is the Democrats love to waste money and have no accountability. Okay, we're going to get into the war with Ukraine, the Russia-Ukraine war and everything else. They love to waste money. And now the GOP, they're looking at trying to get the budget right and, keep the spending down and make sure there's accountability for the spending. That's why you're called a conservative Republican. Okay. So now let's see here. The Violence Against Women Act and the Electoral Count Reform Act and the Respect for the Marriage Act. A lot of these are all acts. Okay. In my opinion, Biden is all about the woke global agenda and not the agenda that matters to most, if not all, Americans. Things like jobs, our Constitution, our economy, our education system, being tough on the global stage, by leadership through strength, types of things, and so much more. So the entire thing is, everything they do is anti-American, and they're trying to promote a global global world order. I'm going to have to do this in a, I'm going to have to break this up. I can see that had to break this video up into multiple sessions, so we'll have multiple videos. But the bottom line, global world order, being woke, indoctrinating our kids, thinking that the teachers know more about our kids than the parents do. Okay, make it seem like parents are domestic terrorists. This is all evil stuff. Okay, completely evil. And I'm going to go over one more, and then we're going to probably do some more videos here about this. Okay, so it says, you are all as informed as I am. The main, if not the only part that seeks money, power, and control is the Democrat Party. And it is completely evident in their policies. So my point is, all the Democrats want money, power, and control. They want more government, and they don't want the individual people to have rights. Really pay attention to that and understand what is going on with America, and you'll get it. If you really look beyond what they say and start doing your own research and maybe listen to another side, another opinion, you'll get a lot more information out there. So with that said, I'm going to stop this video. Go ahead and look at part 2 that I'm going to record next, and we'll catch you on the next video. So thank you very much, and you have a great, great day.